What's up, YouTube? It's your man Malak at Malak News TV, coming at you again with another one, family. So today's report is coming out of the Big Apple, NYC, New York City, and it's reads: Oversight Board recommends 145 NYPD officers be disciplined for conduct during the 2020 Black Lives Matter summer protest. So what this is talking about is 145 NYPD, right, are basically going to be disciplined for the conduct at the Black Lives Matter protests back in 2020, right? So, this is 2 years ago. And, there's been plenty of protests, there's been plenty of things going on. And also, the question is what type of discipline or disciplinary action they're going to take against these officers. But let's go ahead and read. So it says, nearly 2 years after the murder of George Floyd led to a summer of demonstrations and often heavy-handed police reaction in streets across the United States, a civilian oversight agency has recommended that 145 officers in the nation's largest city should be disciplined by their higher-ups after inappropriately policing during the 2020 Black Lives Matter protests. And reads, a little over a quarter of the wrongful policing cases examined by the Watchdog Collective were found to be acts of misconduct. So it says a little over a quarter of the wrongful policing cases examined by the Watchdog collectively were found to be acts of misconduct. So it said out of only a quarter out of all the ones that he said have been misconduct. So our question also is, what do they consider the misconduct? Because what we consider misconduct, and a lot of times the police force don't. But let's continue to read. It says, according to the 2020 protest data snapshot released on Wednesday, May 11th, the Civilian Complaint Review Board, a New York City police oversight agency, received over 750 complaints relating to the behavior of NYPD officers during that summer's season of civil unrest. Out of those complaints, 321 fell within the CRRB's jurisdiction and considered of over 2,000 allegations of police misconduct, naming 500 officers as perpetrators. Interesting. New York's new mayor, Eric Adams, a retired NYPD captain and co-founder of the advocacy group 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care, said on Thursday, May 12th, he is taking a deep dive into police discipline. So he says he's taking a deep dive into police discipline. So that's a positive, right? Anything that they're gonna do anything for the cops mistreating people and misusing their authority is always positive. Now, I do want to know how deep they're gonna look into it. I do also kind of want to know what type of disciplinary actions they're going to give to them, because, in my opinion, a police officer should actually get charged, not even only like a civilian, but higher than a civilian. And the reason why is because when you become a police officer, you take the oath, you're supposed to uphold the law. So if you're breaking the law, you should be held accountable from the average citizen who never took an oath at all to uphold the law or to enforce the law in any kind of way. But nonetheless, at the least, they should be still charged as civilians. You see, if an officer murders someone, he should be charged for murder. If he shot somebody they didn't die, he should be charged for attempted murder. If they take some belongings from somebody during a pullover or a stop, they should be charged for theft. If they plant something on someone, I'm not exactly sure what the cause, what they would, the charges for that, but I know they have charges for that, and officers should be charged for that. But let's continue to read. There are many areas that we're going to have a revamp and reform, he added as he addressed the question about the CCRB report during a public appearance in Harlem. We want it to be efficient, but it should not take as long as it's taken to get to a final result. That's very true. So this man actually sounds like he's really trying to get something done. The CCRB report, which sustained 87 misconduct complaints against 145 officers, said it was difficult to conduct the oversight because the system is not set up to adequately police the police, to police the police, right? The CCRB has seen Unprecedented challenges in investigating these complaints, particularly around the identification of officers due to the failure to follow proper protocols. Officers covering their names and shield. Officers covering their names and shield. Now, if you officer, why would you want to cover your name in your badge or your shield? Why? Other than you're doing something corrupt. Why would you want to cover your camera, your body camera, or your patrol camera on your vehicle? Unless you're doing something unjust, unless you're doing something that's going against the law, which in return you should be charged for. Let's continue. Where was I at? Okay. Okay. Officers going, okay. Okay. Officers covering their names and shields. Officers wearing protective equipment that did not belong to them. The lack of proper use of body-worn cameras, as well as incomplete and severely delayed paperwork, the report revealed. So the police force, but see, us as black people or just people in lower class period, regardless of what race you are, right? We understand that they've been doing this type of stuff. We understand now they've been playing stuff on us. They've been lying about stuff. They've been misinforming stuff. They've been exaggerating on charges. The police force has been doing it, and it's not just NYC that's been doing it, but claps up to that going on right now. But it should be every single city should be doing this because it's in every police department across America. I guarantee you can't pick out one police department in America that doesn't have some type of corruption going on. So this should really be a nationwide investigation, but are they going to do it? Most likely not, but we'll see. The board conducted 223 investigations finding explanations in 17 cases and noting that 49 cases were unsubstantialized and 11 were unfounded. 5 cases remain open. The report revealed the current substation rate in fully investigated protest complaints is 39%, and that the NYPD has finalized 44 cases and imposed discipline against 18 officers. I do want to know what that discipline is. What is it? Suspension with pay, so that's basically paid vacation. They get them paid vacation. I mean, what was the disciplinary act? I haven't really. They're not really discussing that. But let's continue to read. Hawk Newsom, a co-founder of Black Lives Matter of Greater New York and organizer of a few of the NYC 2020 protests, said to Spectrum News in NY1, these officers, because they're not being prosecuted, they feel like it's okay. And that's the wrong message to send to the people. It leads to a distrust in policing in New York and all across America. It makes you question the mayor's capability of holding police accountable. It's a total lack of accountability on the city of New York and everywhere else. Newsom continued. Here you have people exercising their First Amendment right, their constitutional right, and police are butchering and harming people. It's been going on for a while now. Erica Bond, a member of the CCRB appointed by former Mayor Bill de Blasio, said about the study, I am troubled by the number of cases where we recommend fairly significant discipline, command discipline, as well as charges where no discipline at all was imposed. And this is going on all the time in America. The week the NYPD Deputy Commissioner of Public Information's office said the NYPD has assisted the CCRB in their investigations by providing hundreds of hours of body-worn camera footage. Like any citizen, police officers should be afforded presumption of innocence until and unless proven guilty, the statement reminded the public, which is true. However, a lot of times, more times than often, a lot of people are guilty before proven innocent. This is why you will arrest them and have them going through trial in jail. Because to you, they're already innocent. You're already guilty. You're not, because if somebody's innocent or proven guilty, how can I lock you up and I don't know if you're innocent or not, or you're guilty? If I put you in jail, that means, hey, you're guilty. High chance are you guilty? These officers are not getting locked up. They should be going to jail and fighting cases like everyone else, or at least give them a bond like you do. But let's continue. Okay, so NYPD Commissioner, I believe it's pronounced Kachant Sewell, tapped the board of process with its, excuse me, with his case against Officer Wayne Isaacs, who fatally shot an unarmed man in Brooklyn in 2016. And this man's still walking the streets, huh? Is he? Delvin Small. NY1 confirmed her department will not get in the way of the CCRB as they seek to hold an administrative trial for Isaacs, who was actually found not guilty of second-degree murder and first-degree manslaughter by a Brooklyn jury in connection with the fatal shooting of the 37-year-old New Yorker in 2017. And this is, this for a fact is always going on. Too many times these officers are getting off for murdering people, murdering them. They're not going to prison for life. They're not going to being on death row, none of that. Hell, they're not even going to prison for 20, 30 years. Because they have this badge, and a lot of them are connected with each other. A lot of these judges stuff are connected with each other in certain groups, I'm gonna call them. A lot of people probably go to the country club with each other, know their wives, things of that nature. They see their children and stuff, so they feel like they have a connection. They're not going to lock these people up. This is why these type of people cannot be inside office. You have to have people, judges and DAs and all this. They cannot be people that have connections with officers and or lawyers. But let's continue. The Police Benefit Association President Pat Lynch objected to the commissioner's decision, saying in a statement, CCRB has nothing new to add to this case, which has already been fully investigated and adjusted by the NYPD. The police officer was also acquitted by a Brooklyn jury. CCRB is simply looking for a third bite at the apple in order to justify their bloated budget and average their anti-cop agenda, he added. I don't know this organization, right? But I don't believe anyone is anti-cop. Even when people say defund the police, I don't believe they're anti-cop. What they're anti is what the cops are doing, what these police officers are doing. That's what people are against. Nobody's against police officers. No, I don't think there's anybody walking right now who is against police officers. However, we are against what they're doing. We're against them not upholding the law. We are against them breaking the law. We are against them stereotyping and profiling people. That's what we're against. Now it says, but the mayor is continues to stand with the CCRB and the commissioner, the first black woman to hold the job. We have a CCRB for a reason, he said. We thought that at this time, that case specifically should have found a full resolution within the CCRB. The police commissioner made that determination. I support her. Adams continued, and I commend her for using her authority to state it. The state, if it should stay in CCRB or come into the police department, and she made that decision. I support that. The CCRB will release a full report this summer, sharing the panel's key takeaways and how to move forward when assisting NYPD's response to protests. See, family, to wrap all this up, family, it's a great thing that what they're looking into. It's a shame I had to take the new mayor to come in to do all this, but it's going on. It has to go on nationwide, man. It has to go on nationwide because these police officers are literally criminals. Let's just be honest. A lot of these police officers are criminals, not all of them, because you do got some ones out there who are good, but even the quote-unquote good ones aren't really all that good because they know about the corruption in the police force, but they're not saying anything. But then I do understand some of them won't speak on it out of fear. So I do kind of understand that in a sense. But nonetheless, though, man, this is something this is good news. This is something that needs to continue to go on. A lot of these police officers are not only criminals, they need to be investigated. They need to be prosecuted. They need to be locked up in jail. If you don't want to put them in general population because you're afraid of somebody harming them, well, that's every jail's and prison's, personal opinion. You have the right to do that, but they should definitely be prosecuted for the crimes that are here committing. That's the only way to really get rid of this. However, I don't believe that the government wants to do it. I don't think the higher ups really want that to happen at all. I think they're probably okay with the police officers doing what they're doing, persecuting the poor. But nonetheless, though, family, hey, that story right there, something good. I'm gonna continue to look into that, see if there's any updates on it. If I do find updates on it, I'll definitely keep y'all informed about it. And like always, man, peace and blessings, one love, shalom, and I'm gone.